Hey, what's going on? It's Stokely from Sauce on Dole. I just watched the film, the banned film. Well, it's not really banned, but the film that Netflix took down called Root Cause. Now, it's supposedly still available on YouTube to rent for about, I guess, $3 or $4. But it's free on Tubi. So I guess Tubi is going to be the new revolutionary source of video now, I guess. You know what I mean? Compiled with its vast number of low vibration films. It's got Root Cause on it. So I watched it twice so that I was trying to absorb what it was saying, because I was working simultaneously. I was at work and I'm just listening to it. I didn't really look at it too much. But what it was saying is that root canals inherently harbor bacteria, right? Because there's no way to 100% seal the existing tooth. I mean, well, kill the tooth. I'm going to be paraphrasing. So basically what the documentary is saying, you can check it out for yourself, but it's saying, you know what, people want to have their tooth in place. And this is what the guy at the dentist office that I went to said. Oh, it's better to keep your tooth, right? Which I'm okay with. And I asked him, why don't you just pull the tooth out? Well, he said your gum is going to shrink. Anyhow, so in the documentary or in the film or whatever, because it's very artistically done. In the beginning of the film, the guy kind of starts off with a poem, or he does like a spoken word skit in the beginning, and it's pretty cool. And the premise of the film is that, with a root canal, they drill out the middle of the tooth. They take out they try to drill out the nerves, drill out the nerves in each one of the roots of the teeth, because teeth have like multiple roots, especially the molars. The molars have multiple roots, so they drill down into the roots of the teeth to drill out the nerve, and then they put like some kind of filler material inside, and then put a crown on top. But in the process of drilling out the center of the tooth, drilling out the pulp, and drilling out the nerve, it removes the circulatory system that allows the body to flush out whatever toxins, communicate, send T cells or have an immunoresponse that's looping through the tooth. Since those channels are severed, the body isn't able to flush out the tooth from under it, from the root side, and it's definitely not gonna. Any kind of flushing is gonna happen on the top side, because the top side is sealed. So, as a result of that, whatever's in there, whatever bacteria is in there, whatever's going on in there, can't effectively be flushed out by the circulatory system cycling through the bottom of the tooth. That's the premise of the film, basically. So the film is advocating against root canals. Now, did it suggest any alternatives? I don't recall any alternatives in the case of. I didn't really see an alternative per se. They were really more advocating for pulling the tooth out. If they were suggesting any solution, it was to just pull the tooth out, put a bridge, but not a conventional bridge where they grind down your teeth to make a bridge, but one where they adhere the bridge to your teeth, similar to braces. And in the event that you do want to implant, they suggest zirconia implants, which is what the quote-unquote holistic doctor suggested to me when I went to the dentist the other day. But they also the subject of the film, the author of the film, he had two issues. So what happened was he got a tooth knocked out and he got a root canal. That root canal was infected and resulted in multiple health related complications for him, including fatigue, impotence, and possibly depression. So I could relate so much with this guy, even though I don't think I had that tooth problem. Maybe it is. Maybe when my tooth chipped off about 2 years ago, it was already decaying from before that, and stuff was getting stuck up there. Now, my tooth still hasn't been repaired. Me personally now, I'm talking about me now. My tooth hasn't been repaired. Even when I brush my tooth, even when I floss, food still gets stuck up in there. So the only way for me to get it out is with a pick. I curve the end of these plastic picks and go up in there and get it out, which I don't want to do that forever, you know what I mean? If I have to, I guess I gotta have to, but I eventually want to get an onlay or an inlay. But so that food could have been getting stuck in there for years. Right now I'm not in any pain, thank God. I don't even have too much temperature sensitivity now. But it's a struggle to be disciplined regarding my teeth routine, my oral hygiene routine right now. Is pretty it's not so much fun yet. It's not fun, but it's beneficial in that I'm not feeling any pain. Sometimes I feel like my tooth is a little wiggly or a little unstable, but I'm still trying to chew on it so that it stays strong. But food gets stuck up there, so I gotta make sure I clean it out. Not just brush it, not just floss it, I gotta pick it also. Yeah. So anyhow, going back to root cause. Root cause suggested going to a holistic dentist, right? I told you that the office that I went to called themselves a holistic dentist, but they wanted to do a wisdom tooth pull. So the gentleman in the film, not only did he have a root canal which was infected, he had a wisdom tooth pulled, and since it wasn't cleaned properly, he had something they called a cavitation. I guess there was a remnant of the tooth, and when the gum closed in on it, that caused him some issues. And finally, after having the tooth removed from the root canal and having his cavitation treated at the wisdom tooth location, he started to feel better, and his erections restored. Now, it's weird. Like, you gotta watch the documentary, because he tried almost just about everything. He tried supplements. He tried spiritual stuff. He reminds me of myself over the past 6 years, just trying to exist in an unhealthy world. So there was one of the speakers, one of the interview subjects, one of these dentists, a gentleman who's a cardiologist, and we already know that the mouth bacteria, the condition of your mouth is related to your circulatory system. The circulatory system is related to erections. So the cardiologist said, you can't get dry in a shower. You can't get dry in the shower. So his philosophy, his explanation, and his saying was to signify that you can't get healthy in an unhealthy situation. And him going through all of those things, from going to all of these Eastern medicine, conventional medicine, spirituality, sound therapy, he's going through everything just trying to get back to normalcy and restore his erections and do other stuff. He reminds me of myself because I don't know if I've explored all of these things, but I've entertained a lot of different ideas, just reading things, and not necessarily entertained them, but I've read about a lot of stuff and considered a lot of different things regarding getting healthy and making my hair grow back, and trying to make my hair grow back, trying to restore erections, trying to restore libido, all these different things. So, oh man, this show is very relatable to me. But one of the things is I forgot what I wanted to say, but it was pretty good documentary. Now there's some hyperbole. There's some hyperbole in the film, right? And this is the parts that allow the conventional bad guy, money grabbing dentist to knock down the whole documentary. Some of the speakers use some hyperbole by saying over 90-something% of cancers or illnesses are attributed to root canals, and that can't materially be factual. Now, there's a lot of people nowadays saying that all diseases start in the mouth. Nah, I don't know about that, because you can breathe in, you can inhale, you can inhale pathogens, airborne pathogens. There's pathogens that can absorb through your skin. There's things that can happen to your skin and make you sick. You know what I mean? There's water droplets that can get on your eye and make you sick. You know what I mean? You can, yeah. So that's not totally, you could get a cut and get sick. You know what I mean? So if you're, you got to add some caveats, or you got to add some more information. You can't just blanketly say 90-something% of cancers are caused by root canals, or 90-something% of heart disease is caused by root canals, or 90-something% of all illnesses are caused by root canals. You can't really say that. And that's the part that the conventional money-grabbing dentist associations and that got the film taken down use those pieces of hyperbole as leverage to invalidate the whole film, right? So that was the unfortunate part. But hey, listen, it can't be perfect. It's not necessarily going to be perfect. Nothing's going to be perfect. Information is always evolving. Listen, man, was it Plato, Socrates, or I forgot where it was. One time they thought the earth was flat, and then now we believe that the earth is round. And then you got people trying to come back again and say that the earth is flat again. So listen, the earth is round, as far as I understand. I mean, arch is the strongest structure, and if gravitational force is spherical, all the objects that would gather around it would arrange in a spherical pattern as well, right? I mean, a magnet, we're talking about gravitational force, we're not talking about a magnet. A magnet is polarized. Now, if a magnet was polarized, yeah, maybe you'll get a flat earth, right? If it's like a normal kind of dipolar situation. But the magma, or the whatever, the nickel or whatever, the iron that's in the middle of the earth spinning around hot, it's always spinning in theory from the earth's core, right? How could we have an earth's core if the earth was flat? You know what I mean? I don't know. Anyway, let's not get into that. I'm just giving it as an example of people's belief systems changing. And I don't want to offend anybody. I don't care about flat earth or round earth. I don't care about that. That doesn't even matter. People are dying. People are suffering. Who cares if the earth is flat or if it's round? There's other things that we need to worry about, like getting our penises hard. Okay? I'm sorry. So, root cause, And let me add some depth to my shallow statement about worrying about if your penis is hard. The erection is directly an indicator of your cardiovascular health, right? Which is shown in this statement, in this documentary, and is explained by just about anybody who you talk to. Viagra was discovered trying to develop a drug for a condition called angina, right? Anyhow, I've spoken about that enough. So I did a little digging because I was talking to AI previously, and I was asking AI, what's the best toothpaste? And then it suggested this toothpaste named Premio, and then I have a new toothpaste now that's called something like Health Dynamics. I forgot what the name of it is, but I got another toothpaste now that contains CoQ10, hydroxyapatite, silver, and some other stuff, right? So I'm pretty much enjoying that toothpaste right now, and it's reduced my sensitivity. My tooth is not hurting anymore. So what I'm doing, or what am I saying now? What I'm saying is that go check out the documentary. In my opinion, there is a bit of hyperbole in it, but there's still some sense in it. It's pretty artfully made. It's kind of entertaining. It's entertaining in my opinion. Netflix has worse content on its platform that promote unhealthy behaviors. Now, what the dentists were saying they're against is fear mongering. Now, I mean, it's not going to necessarily reduce their business. It's going to make them feel bad, though, because they did all these root canals on people, and they could be infecting people and making them sick and making them impotent and making them have heart disease and giving them chronic fatigue and all kind of conditions. Yes, so they might feel guilty and they're scared, right? And they don't want to lose their legitimacy. They don't want to lose their money. Understandable. And, you know, if I had a root canal and I watched that, I would be very uncomfortable. I'll be very uncomfortable. But, you know, that's where the convenience of spirituality kicks in. That kind of calms you down and say, you know, don't worry about it. You know, spirituality kind of puts you in a boiling frog kind of situation where you're just like taking all kind of punishment and taking all kind of suffering and taking all kind of disrespect because you think that you're going to get a wage, you're going to get a compensation in heaven or something like that. But it also helps you say, well, guess what? I'm going to be still, like the pastor said in church the other day. You know, in these rough situations when things are rough, I'm just going to be still, right? And not fear. The series of speeches my pastor is talking about right now, the pastor of the church that I go to, is faith over fear. So in a situation like this, when, you know, just like when my tooth got chipped or I got impotence, or not really impotence, but erectile dysfunction, loss of libido, all that, blah, blah, blah. In those situations, I overreacted initially, and then I said, well, what can I do? Oh, I don't know if I told you, 2 supposedly federal agents showed up at my house, and under false pretenses, they just gave me some information. I don't know why they showed up, but I think it was, I don't know what it has to do with. Now I'm not going to go into any details, but that alarmed me also. But then I said to myself, hey, God, you know, you're going to take care of it. Whatever it is that they're doing, I mean, I can't really worry about it. I got things to do. Whatever they're going to do, I can't necessarily stop them anyway. So I'm just going to chill. I'm going to live my life every day. I'm going to eat food. I'm going to sleep. I'm going to run. I'm going to jump. I'm going to sing. I'm going to laugh. And whatever comes. So that's the benefit of having a boogeyman religion, belief system that helps you feel comfortable helps you calm down at times. Anyhow, but hey, check out the film Root Cause, but take it with a grain of salt. If you already have root canals, don't let it make you uncomfortable. Not everybody's root canal is infected. Not everybody's root canal is bad. They do suggest, if you already have a root canal and you feel like it might be giving you a problem, all you got to do is just eat right and take care of yourself. Eat right. Try to stay away from the bad stuff. I would say cut down on the sugar as much as possible. I have an almost visceral response to sugar intake. Sugar intake just makes me like inflamed almost instantly. Milk is another thing that kind of causes me inflammation instantly. That could be due to the lactose, which is a form of sugar. Who knows? But implement some spices that are anti-inflammatory, antibacterial. That's what I would suggest. And just try to modify your lifestyle and do the best as you can to take care of your teeth and brush them as much as possible and keep your mouth clean. Brush after every meal. Right now, like I said, I have a hole in my mouth that almost has direct access to my bone. When I did my inspection, when I went to the dentist, they say how I have an infection in my jawbone. So if I had a root canal, I would probably be in the same situation that I am right now, and I'm not alarmed about it. So don't be alarmed about it. Just take care of yourself. I'm chewing my xylitol gum while I'm talking, which is kind of rude. I'm sorry. So I'm eating my xylitol gum right now. I just brushed my teeth at work. Well, that was about 1 o'clock. But yeah, I'm not alarmed about it anymore. I'm not alarmed about the teeth. I'm not alarmed about the libido. I'm not alarmed about the hair loss. I'm not alarmed about the so-called federal agents showing up at my house. I'm not worried about it. I'm going to trust in God because that's the paradigm that I subscribe to. Or you can just say whatever you subscribe to. If you don't believe in the spaghetti monster or boogeyman in the sky, just take it easy, man. The boogeyman helps me take it easy. So that's just how I'm rocking with it. But hey, check out that movie. It's on Tubi. You don't even need an account. You can go download Tubi on whatever platform, whatever phone you got, whether you got Android or you got Apple. Download Tubi and you can watch it without even signing in. Hey, bang.